let me be clear, these are really tough results. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. And we have lost brilliant Labour representatives, people who put so much into their communities, so much into our party and our movement. And the voters have sent a message about the pace of change, how they want their lives improved. I was elected to meet those challenges, and I'm not going to walk away from those challenges and plunge the country into chaos.
Yeah, they've sent a message that they want to change.
Well, they've sent a message that the change that we promised isn't being delivered in a way they can feel, and also, frankly, they're fed up with years of the status quo. But we were elected to deal with those challenges, and I'm not going to walk away from that and to plunge the country into chaos.
Did you contemplate that the problem might be you, that you might need to go to help Labour win these seats back? Did you contemplate, did you acknowledge it as a conversation?
Look, I think it's absolutely clear that the electorate are fed up with the fact that their lives aren't changing quickly enough. And this has been going on for a very, very long time. I think that we were right to emphasise to the country the difficult inheritance we had, the challenges we face, but we haven't done enough to convince people that things can improve, their lives can get better, the hope. And I'm not going to walk away from that challenge. We made a number of calls which were the right calls in terms of stabilising the economy, investing in our public services, and not getting dragged into the Iran war. But we also made unnecessary mistakes. And my job now is to set out the steps that we will take to bring about the change that people want and deserve.
To be clear, you are not going to resign.
No, I'm not going to walk away and plunge the country into chaos. We were elected to deal with these challenges, and that's what we will do.
Has Ed Miliband asked you to set out timetable for your departure?
Well, I think Ed Miliband has dealt with this and made absolutely clear that he supports me.
What do you say to those in your party who are really upset with you? They don't think you're getting it and they're calling for your resignation. What do you say to all your challenges and the party? What's your message?
Well, I think it's very important that we don't sugarcoat these results, so I'm not going to do that. They are tough results, I accept that. They reflect voters who don't feel that their lives have changed enough or quickly enough, and that's been going on for a long time. We were elected to deal with that, and I'm not going to walk away from that responsibility and plunge the country into chaos.
I've got a final question. One of your own top team messaged me this morning and said that you are the reason that Labour risks handing the country to reform, that you are the problem. What do you say to that? That if you stay on, you will hand the country to reform?
What I'd say to that is, we won a landslide victory in July 2024. I led our party to that victory. That is a 5-year mandate to change the country. Yes, there are difficult conditions. The inheritance was terrible. The international context is very, very difficult. But we need to inject that hope and convince people that things can and will get better. And that's why in coming days I'll set out the further steps that we will take. I am feeling very much for the brilliant candidates, the brilliant councillors, the brilliant representatives that we have lost, because I know for them they have put so much into their communities, so much of their life into public service. And so I'm thinking about them and thinking about what we need to do to rebuild and to take our country forward.
Are you going to stand as Prime Minister in the next general election?
Yes, it was a 5-year term I was elected to do. I intend to see that through.
Prime Minister, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Keir, everyone in this room has been awake since about 6 o'clock yesterday morning. We have come fresh from our count here in Ealing, and we are so pleased to have you with us. We have just managed to secure a historic fifth term for the Ealing Labour Party here in Ealing. A solid, good result for us here in this borough. Everyone in this room has been working so incredibly hard over the last 24 hours, over the last few months, the last year, to make sure that we're spreading the message both of Ealing Labour, that we're on resident sides, that we are delivering on the things that they tell us are important, as well as highlighting the incredible work the government is doing to tackle the housing crisis, to ensure people have got good, well-paid jobs, and that we have an NHS fit for the future. We are so pleased and proud to have you join us on what is a historic morning. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister.
Well, thank you, Peter, and thank you to all of you. I know how hard you have worked, how hard all of our members and activists have worked. And I just wanted to say a few words to you about the results, because the results are tough. They are very tough. And there is no sugarcoating this. We have lost brilliant Labour representatives across the country. These are people who put so much into their communities, so much into our party and our movement. And that hurts. And it should hurt. And I take responsibility. When voters send a message like this, we must reflect and we must respond. I think the vast majority of people do understand that we face huge challenges as a country. We've had a series of economic shocks in recent years, and there's a very difficult international situation that we face. They know that. But they still want their lives to improve. They still want to see the change that we promised. They know the status quo is letting them down, and they're frustrated. They don't feel the change. I understand that. I get that. I was elected to deal with these challenges. We made some big calls to stabilise our public finances, to invest in our public services, not to get dragged into a war in Iran. But we also made unnecessary mistakes. One of which was that although we were right to level with the public about the scale and depth of the challenges we faced, we didn't do enough to convince them that things will get better, that things will improve. The hope. And that is why in coming days I'm going to set out the steps that we will take to deliver the change that they want and that they deserve, so that every child can go as far as their talent or ability will take them, not held back by poverty, so that every community can have what it needs, a secure, safe place for everybody to live. Households and families not feeling constantly held back by a cost of living crisis. And a Britain where everybody can feel proud of the place where they live and they work. So these are tough results. But tough days like this, they don't weaken my resolve to deliver the change that I promised at the general election. They strengthen my resolve to do so. Thank you so much for listening. But you've got the majority, you've got the ability to do that. And in the end, that's what we're all in this for. And that's why it is it's a historic.
Historically, never have we managed to get a fifth consecutive in Ealing. It's been a really big leap.
The good thing about being here is everything's exciting.
Yes,
Full of energy,
that is true.
Full of fun.
That's true.
And that's important.
Yeah, because you get your feet under the door.
Yeah, absolutely. We look forward to that.
Yeah, and these campaigns are tough.
Yeah.
Hard yards.
Yeah, you learn so much.
I don't think there's anything quite as good as the basic respectfulness of showing up on somebody's doorstep and asking them what matters to you.
Not that they always know, but it's good that we ask the question.
Yeah,
So I think you have more empathy, you start to see it when you're pounding the streets.